The need for a data-informed human resources management strategy has never been greater. The costs associated with people, the critical role they play in building business results, and the rapidly changing labour market mean that instinct and intuition are no longer sufficient. The companies that are going to lead in the next decade will be those that combine people data with business data, deriving insights that help to drive strategy and bring results. Already, leading organizations are investing in these capabilities, building teams with the relevant skills, supporting them with the right technologies that allow them to scale and grow, helping CHROs elevate their contribution to the business. The pandemic caused a tipping point. It brought to the fore this really big change, and it made it clear to everybody inside and outside HR the need for a people analytics function and how it was imperative not to ignore this anymore. I'm Cook with Visier. I want to take a few moments to show you how CHROs are using Visier to help execute on their human resources management strategy. Let's start that in the boardroom. The changes to the SEC regulations mean that boards of directors are demanding to understand the people risks associated with the business. They're also looking for regular updates to understand how well those risks are being managed.
So let's take a look at this. Here I am looking at an analysis that I'm going to provide to the board. I can quickly scan, understand, have I got everything where I wanted it? Is it all laid out the way I wanted it? I'm covering different elements. And often when we're going to report to the board, all of this takes a ton of time. Somebody's building a deck, somebody's pulling results out of a Tableau or a Excel sheet. There's a whole ton of work to be done. But I'm just going to finish this off with my final statement, save it. And as this happens, I'm now ready instantly to report on that. What Visier does that's differentiating is we keep the story of the data live on top of the data, so that when I want to report it to the board, with a simple click, I can jump in and start to explain these charts. And because it's live on the data, I've got all of the supporting information. Anywhere I need to highlight an element, I can go there. Anywhere I need to drill down on an element and understand what's behind this. Usually data leads to more questions. I can go all the way down to this very specific units, always understanding what the difference is, navigating to the answer that the board is looking for at the moment they're looking for it. The other thing that Visier does really well is combine lots of different pieces of information. Whether we're looking at it simply on the employee piece, looking forward, understanding what is our diversity going to be, not just what have we got right now, but what is it going to be, and then understanding how we're performing to targets around whether or not we have enough diverse people in our pipeline. That's data from AHRS combined with data from talent acquisition built into a single chart that I can explore live with the board, give them the confidence, give them the understanding. And again, things like gender pay gap, it's a complicated metric. It's already expressed in Visier. There's no need to go and hire a consulting firm to build it for you. It is there. I can see the trends over time. I can explain what's happening. In addition, we often have follow-up questions. I'm looking at this in location, Harry, but if somebody says, well, I need to understand this by job family, is that which job families are driving it? I don't have to go back and ask somebody to make that for me. The other components that we have are the ability to describe, tell that story, adding additional insight, such as we have an identified risk in succession. You don't need to freak about the chart. We're on it. We've got things going on. Or looking at retention. How do we know it's good? Our rate may be going up, but we've got the benchmarks built into the application so you can see them as you use the data. That means you can get the answers you need.
The second reason the CHROs needs Visier is to help inform their strategic choices. The turmoil of 2021 made true what has been known for a long time. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to managing people. You have to adapt and understand what's going on for yourselves. Simply following your competitors is not the path to success. What has also become clear is that whilst deploying a new HRS created more efficiency, it has done nothing to help shed more light on which aspects of the business or which people aspects of the business are impacting revenue or customer satisfaction or other business results. Going faster only matters if you're going the right direction. Leading organizations have recognized that the process of people analytics is completely separate from the process of transactions and record keeping. Instead of focusing on faster reporting or bringing color to their self-service reports, they've invested in specialist people analytics applications that are purpose-built to combine people data with business data, providing answers on demand. Whilst other CHROs struggle to keep up with demands of data from the business, suffering the cycle times of IT that are typical that hold up every new question, those who have invested in that purpose-built application have been able to seamlessly continue to grow. They're investing in an application that takes raw data through to delivered insight that is then securely shared. What that means is they can get ahead, they can know ahead of time how they're going to be impacted by issues of retention, equity, diversity, talent mobility, talent acquisition, and more. So let's jump in and take a look at how a specialist application that has been built purposely to provide people insights to the business could help you.
So to really run a data-informed human resources management strategy, I need to be able to discover things, get insight into the pieces of the business I'm looking at. For example, by searching for different hierarchies, in this instance, I can look at my customer success group. I may have an issue around replacing people or finding how to move people in. It's an area that's been identified I need to understand. So I'm using this overall movement visualization, looking at my ins and outs, to understand what's causing movement. And alongside that, we know that we want to understand the sources. So not just understanding who's moved in, but where are they coming from? Which parts of the business? Who are they? Right down to the specific details. I can see that my operations team is providing a lot of people into customer success. And I've got the specific names of the individuals who are doing that. We're going right from the aggregate view down to the specific details of individuals, even to the point of being able to compare individuals to each other. Or in this case, I want to look at the overall history, all the different aspects about Sophia, understand her over time, what's made her move from operations into customer success, how is that successful? And of course, we know when it's about people and the flow of information, we need to be able to follow that track of thinking. So if we're putting people into customer success from operations, well, how are we set for actually being able to find people to replace them? So selecting my sourcing paths analysis, which derives insight from the employee set, works out where do people come from, how long does it take them to follow that path, what happens to them to get into that role. Not only can I see who's moving, but I can understand through the flow of the business how to replace them.
The final reason why every CHRO needs Visier will be the one that's familiar to everybody. We call it the last mile challenge. And this is the challenge that every HR team faces, where they have a great, well-formulated, clear strategy at the center of the business. They understand what needs to happen. But it's really hard to get from that understanding out into the business so that the actions that are taken in alignment with strategy can have the intended impact on the business results. Whilst the CHRO and their team know what to do, they know the decisions that need made, they know how that's going to help the business, they can't be everywhere at once. That's what causes this last mile challenge. There's communication to senior leaders, there's investment in the importance of these pieces, but it still hits this gap where the movement between the senior managers, the people managers, HR can't be everywhere at once. It's just not possible. And so you end up in this last mile challenge. What that leads to is a jumble of misaligned decisions. It leads to uncertainty on the side of HR. It leads to misaligned decisions, which leads to misaligned actions, which reduces the impact of the strategy on the overall business. It's a frustration I've talked with many CHROs about. It's lasted for a long time. It's something that we need to solve for. And this is where Visier comes in. This is exactly the state and nature of the challenge that Visier was purpose-built to understand. Instead of simply trying to use traditional BI tools, which are okay when you want to deliver handcrafted insights to 10 business unit leaders, what happens is you hit a scalability wall, and they fail as you go from those 10 business unit leaders out to hundreds of insights. We built our technology purposely to get those decision-changing answers into the hands of hundreds of people managers. So let's take a look at the insights and the guidance that is currently being leveraged by people managers who have access to Visier.
So let's take a look at how Visier helps with the last mile problem, enabling managers to take action aligned to your strategy in order to do the things at the front line with people that you need done. I'm looking at a simple analysis that can be delivered to a manager, not only delivered to them, but embedded in another workflow, or even potentially emailed direct to their inbox. So you're not having to get them to learn a new habit. It's right where they need to access it securely, frequently, able to get shipped to that. And what it covers is information that is really important around how are they performing relative to their peers? How is their score relative to others, so they understand the importance of action? That's a key part. And explaining what we're trying to do. So there's the chart and the information, helping people get a context behind what they're doing. Once we've done that, we can drill in using Visier's AI, our predictive model, to help Chase understand that Carolina is his highest risk of exit. This is a validated, proven model. The model is transparent. It's all clear in the organization. We know she has a 30% risk of exit. That's 3 in 10 chance of leaving in the next 12 months. That means she's a high likelihood. If Chase knows that that's going to have an impact on his business, he knows he needs to take action. Which leads us to the next area. We've built out the capacity for Chase to understand Carolina relative to her peers. And this is the tricky piece. Carolina can't necessarily be compared just to people within her team. She has to be compared to people across her team, the executive level, that group. Chase may or may not have detailed security rights to that group, but it doesn't matter. Visier can present that information, showing things like how Carolina's risk of exit is substantially higher than her peers. You can see there it's 12.2 points above the median, or understanding that the relationships, the number of people that she's connected to inside the organization is actually pretty low, which may well be causing that elevated risk of exit. So helping to Chase to understand, not through deep analysis or lots of exploration, but really informed by the data, how are you performing, what's at risk, what strategies can you take to retain your people? Doing that across hundreds of managers, doing that daily without having to be there, is how you get to deliver HR strategy at scale through the hands of your leaders.
There you have it, the 3 reasons every CHRO needs Visier. You're looking to inform your human resources management strategy with data. The best way to do that is our technology. It's proven. Our team can demonstrate results after results. If this information has been meaningful for you, reach out. We'd love to help you.